You say you just finished watching it? I'm about to watch it. It's my first time. Okay. Audio good, everything good. Let's get into it, man. Hit that like, y'all up in here, man.
Some people say the Illuminati is just a conspiracy meme. But here's what most people don't know. The Illuminati was actually a real secret society, and it didn't get shut down because it was harmless. It got shut down because its ideas were built to reshape society from the shadows. The Bavarian Illuminati started in 1776, founded by Adam Weishaupt, and it lasted less than a decade. It worked through secrecy, influence, and layers of initiation, meaning not everyone knew the real agenda. Authorities eventually raided the members.
That's funny, 1776? Interesting timeline.
Seized the documents, and by 1785 the group was dismantled. So the original Illuminati, it was real, documented, and destroyed. But here's the bigger question. Even if the organization died, did the ideology survive? Now, let's separate two things. The historical Illuminati was real but gone. The modern Illuminati talk often a label that people use for hidden influence and manipulation. While there is no confirmed evidence that one single headquarter called the Illuminati runs the world, it is also naive to pretend that powerful people don't network, shape culture.
I ain't gonna keep pausing it, but why the fuck would we know the name of the secret society that runs the world? Y'all gotta really think about this shit. Even people that work in government. You gotta remember that there's multiple societies. You got the Thelma, you got bro, there's so many different societies and families. Luciferian, Rose Crucifixions, like there's so many different orders, Freemasons, Yorkish Rite, Scottish, bro. You think it's just one place where they all do it at? No, it's a global.
Protect their interest and propagate demonic doctrines and agendas.
Hit that like, man.
It's crazy it was started by one guy.
Yeah, bro. It goes back thousands of years.
W video.
The misunderstanding that's common out there is that this man, Adam Weishaupt, which was a pseudonym, a name that he had taken actually, started the Illuminati. He did create a modern structure for it. He was paid by these families to create a modern structure. But he didn't originate the Illuminati. The Illuminati goes back thousands of years before him.
Exactly.
The Illuminati is the continuation of the mystery religions.
Right. Mystery schools.
There was quite a number of mystery religions in antiquity, and these mystery religions had councils that controlled them, and that would be today what we call the hierarchy of the Illuminati.
Right.
If we go back into antiquity, we will see that there were certain families that were deified as gods, like Pharaoh, Alexander the Great. These powerful families believed they were gods. You can never find any point in history where they gave up their power. What they did is they did a lot of sleight of hands and went underground or behind the scenes and let other people become frontmen.
Right.
But they've still stayed in power.
I told you, bro. It's been going on since the beginning.
Don't seem like much has changed.
Yep.
Illuminati-style ideology still shows up today, replacing faith with human reason, the idea that religion is the problem.
What do we need so many humans for?
And the enlightened people should lead the society without God, rejecting traditional authority, tearing down family, church, and moral boundaries, label them as outdated, promoting moral confusion,
Okay, feet apple pie. What the fuck? And bro, Hollywood be pimping out the kids, man. I didn't mean to pause on there. It look like something that's what they do in the Northwest right now too. That's why Northwest was like, hey man, don't take no pictures of my daughter, man, when I was at that dinner. And they thought he was just tripping.
as outdated, promoting
so many humans for.
And the enlightened people should lead the society without God.
Look at this fucking bot. Look at this fucking bot. Oh, Jay-Z, I got a Mercedes. Cristal, champagne. Shut your fake, you fake ass occult tapped in. You ain't tapped in. Niggas niggas in New York, that's more, nigga, my nigga, Seer Duke of Tears more tapped into you, Jay-Z. You just got all the money. Fuck you. And you ain't got no money that's really yours because you can't use it for what you want to use it for. What you talking about, bro? There's no reason why Epstein should have been in them files saying that Jay-Z is a pawn that we use to get the black community in control. There's no way that shit shouldn't even. Jay-Z, and I get it, like, you can't save all black people, but I'm not finna whoop my people, though. Like, I'm on some shit to where I don't want to wake everybody up. I don't give a fuck. But I'm not finna fuck y'all over, though.
Rejecting traditional
Crazy.
authority, tearing down family, church, and moral boundaries, label them as outdated, promoting moral confusion,
You said the video loud?
hypersexualized
Man, I already got it turned down.
culture, mocking holiness, and all presented as
Let's turn it
freedom,
down.
and centralizing power and control. More surveillance, more dependency, more control through different narratives and different systems. I mean, COVID was a great example of that.
This is extremely dangerous to our democracy.
So even if the
Hey, hit that like, y'all, over
organization,
here.
the Illuminati, is dead, its pattern and influence still continues today.
It's a bit hard to believe only a handful of
sound now?
people rule the world.
Trust me, bro. It's the 13 bloodlines.
But it's a syndicate. It's a big crime syndicate. These cartels.
We've spoken a lot about over-centralization of power, things like ULEZ. Where is that decision starting from?
13 families.
That was what I was trying to get to the bottom of. Is it families, organisations, corporate interests, banking?
About 10,000
What
people
is it?
that run the world. There's 3,000.
Tell us more.
3,096 billionaires, 10,000 people in their families. That's who runs it. It's a syndicate. It's a big crime syndicate. These cartel. Government is govern mind. That's what it means. Government.
mind.
Govern mind. This is just the
Govern the
cartel.
mind.
If you called them the
Hey, y'all. Government, govern mind. Govern the mind. Don't ever forget that. I ain't gonna forget
the
that one.
racketeers or the cartel or whatever, like they're fear racketeers. That's what they do. They sell fear.
What's fascinating is if
I
you
just
Google
said
who are the
that this
13
morning.
families that control our
I
world,
thought this shit
there was a
tapped in.
downloadable
And
PDF
you know,
from this.
he didn't probably read a million books and doctrines. I've been reading this and I've been tapping into, but I just said that. They sell you fear. They sell you the fact that things are gonna be the uncertainty of the world. They sell you rage. They sell you rage bait, race bait, gender bait. They sell you this shit. So and you buy it. You buy your misery and your fear.
CIA's government website.
Is that true?
Yeah, bro. We don't hide the New World Order. It's written on their money.
Their whole purpose throughout history has been to teach a small number of people how to become adept at controlling everyone else. Their goal is to destroy all existing religions save theirs, all existing governments save theirs, and shackle the mob in a system of eternal oppressive debt chained to a computer for the rest of their life, in a propagandized world to make them believe that they are happy in this system. Now, do you think they're succeeding? Haven't I described to you just now exactly what is going on in the world today? Yes, they're succeeding. They're succeeding because the American people don't understand their enemy. They don't even know what's happening.
Wow.
It seems like it's working.
Yeah, bro. They've been doing it for generations.
Who's at the very top? Who really rules the world? And I discovered it's a very, very interesting history of ancient Iranian tribes, the original Zoroastrians, and the first world Persian Empire that has controlled the world for the last 5,000 years. The entities that created the Jesuits during the Renaissance in Italy, it was none other than Alessandro Farnese, a Persian. They have 10
Hey, we got 5 people. We got 5 people watching. Hit that like, man.
bloodline families that sit on a council, and they're the ones who advise the Jesuits. The Jesuits work for the Iranian bloodlines, and the Jesuits were created by Alessandro Farnese, who became Pope Paul III. We're talking about a global
Niggas switching
network
names.
with one template carrying all of this out. And originates with those ancient Iranian bloodlines. The Romans, the Etruscans, the Holy Roman Empire, they're all Iranians, they're all Persians, it's all Persian blood.
I find it hard to believe one group of people has ruled the world for 5,000 years.
Trust me, bro. It's through secret societies.
13 families. You've got Astor, Bundy, Collins, DuPont, Freeman, Kennedy,
DuPont.
Lee, Onassis.
No, no DuPont.
Reynolds is not one of the top 13, but it's close up there. Rockefeller, Rothschild, Russell, and then you've got your 13th Illuminati bloodline, which is the Merovingian bloodline, which believes that they are descendants of Christ, descendants of Lucifer, and the House of David. You got the Van Dyne family. So these are your top Illuminati families. They have many special committees and councils. For instance, your Council of 3, 5, 7, 11, 13, your Grand Druid Council, your Committee of 300, your Committee of 500. There was just as strong a Scottish contingency in Illuminati as your Jewish contingency here on this clan map of Scotland. But you'll see the Kennedys, which is a top 13 Illuminati bloodline. You'll find the Stewarts, who are good friends with the Rockefellers. You'll find the Morgans up here, for instance. Who hasn't heard of Morgan Guarantee? And here are the Sinclairs. They were given a hereditary leadership of Freemasonry and are members of the top 13, the top 13th Illuminati bloodline, the Merovingian Holy Bloodline.
I don't think all Freemasons are in the Illuminati.
Nah, bro. They use it to recruit the Illuminati.
Oh.
Freemasonry is the continuation of the mystery religions. Okay. Freemasonry
Makes
and
sense.
the Illuminati are like a glove in the hand.
Well, hold on just a second.
Like, there's lodges everywhere. Down to, you go to your downtown right now and find a lodge. There's Freemasonics everywhere. Just because a nigga got a Freemason emblem on his car, that don't mean that you got the deep initial secrets. Just because you join a fraternity, just because you a black boule member, that don't mean you black nobility. That don't mean you a high-ranking, like Jesse Jackson. That nigga was a high-ranking boule type nigga because of like how much power he had and what he done did. But just because you fraternity or you a Freemason, that don't mean you skull and bones and you finna be in the government and you finna be the president, like, or you finna have any power. There's a level to this shit, so that would make sense. You gotta join a Freemason for them to see if they can initiate you higher. But why would, like, joining all these groups and societies and all this shit, I kind of get it before pre-internet era because you could fall into shit. I get it pre-internet era, but with the internet era, if you joining a group, that's crazy. Cause back then I can see how you can get duped on some shit like this, or one of these people come up to you. But like, it's really best to move as an individual. But all these groups, bro, that shit is low level shit. So you thinking, oh, I'm a Nuwabian, or I'm this, or I'm a, somebody was in my chat like I'm a Riskian. I follow Malachi Zeke, I'm a Riskian or something. And it's just like, without that, what are you? You feel me? If that person didn't create that for you, what would you be? You'd be something else. So don't join no groups because you ain't even getting the real meat of the shit. You could really learn everything about everything if you just put yourself outside of a group. Imagine not knowing how deep Freemasonry get because you on the 2nd degree.
Fritz, I mean, I know some Freemasons. I even work with one, and I mean, he seems to be the most down-to-earth guy I've ever known. And as a matter of fact, if I even get to talking to politics too much about him, I feel kind of sort of that I even know a little bit more what's going on than him. How is he controlling the world?
Oh, he's just a member of a lodge system.
A lodge system.
The lodge system needs a lot of good men at the base to support its structure.
Right.
2/3 of the Freemasons don't go beyond the 3rd degree.
The 3rd degree. Two-thirds of Freemasons don't go through the fucking 3rd degree. You're supposed to be getting 32 degrees, and then only certain people can get the 33 degree, but they capping you off on 30 degrees when it's 360 degrees. Anyway, King Nimrod was a black man. We started free. No, I'm just playing.
Financial base supporting this pyramid structure. At the top, we have, for instance,
Hit
the
that like
Sinclair
button.
family. You'll see that these bloodlines are in control of Freemasonry, just like so many other things. The royal family of Britain has been at the top of Freemasonry in the United Kingdom. It's not that every Freemason is in the Illuminati, it's that this is just one more system that's controlled by them, and it's been one of their most powerful tools in the world for carrying out what their agenda.
The history of the royal family is fucked.
Yeah, bro. They're all inbred.
Royal families interbreed because they're
Whoa!
trying to hold a specific genetic code. And that code has to do with their hybrid nature, the divine right to rule and all that stuff. That's why they see themselves as...
Oh, they inbreed to keep the bloodline. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like the older I on some spiritual shit, it kind of makes sense. But like, notice how our culture don't really do that. We don't have to inbreed to like, but when you think about it, other tribes of melanated, we really the same thing. You know what I'm saying? Like if you go to South Carolina, right? Let's say we go to the South. My folks from South Carolina. Let's say you in South Carolina, Atlanta, Alabama. Years have went on, so it's different families and different names. But how we know we all ain't cousins anyway? Like by 5th generation or 6th generation, it's just probably generations down. I don't know. Maybe that was just a theory. But
superior to the rest of the population. But
they doing it different. They like, hey, mom sleep with son, and they on some other cousin over here. They play it a little different. But I feel like everything ran different in the ancient world too. So everything we know is like taboo today was probably a little bit more normal back then.
Humanity reached a point of maturity where it started to reject rule by royal succession. They had to replace that with another form of control, and so we had politics replacing royalty. They didn't disappear. They went into the dark suit professions, politics, business, and banking, and they've gone on interbreeding with each other ever since.
They kind of just kept inbreeding. They'd all come out fucked up.
Right.
It's why they use cadet families, bro.
That can't be the way that God created it, because like they say, you come out all fucked up when you inbreed. So you're trying to keep it pure and you're literally killing your fucking genetics. Now I want my son to look like me, bro. I'm not gonna lie to you. So I want to go with a melanated woman. But nigga, if I go to Asia one day or Thailand and I meet the right, like, you know what I'm saying? I meet the right indigenous Southeast, or go to the Philippines or something, you know? But I feel like my girl gotta speak English though. All that like you with a girl that's submissive but she don't speak English, I'm cool off that. Like you don't even understand me. You just hear, like you're just literally like I'll be seeing them videos, them niggas be having them Thailand girlfriends, she don't even speak English. Like, okay, bro, like.
Yo, what's good? We're trying to hit 250k subscribers. We're giving away a free piece of merch at the end of every episode.
You learn that shit. My partner went to ASU, boy, them niggas all look the same. Bro, I seen it was like a line of like, it'd be a line of like 100 white girls walking. They all look the same. I swear to God. That shit crazy. And it'd be like all the boys and they'll be all walking. I'm like, yo, they got them on a program. For real. If you ever just see a bunch of white kids out of college, it just looks crazy, bro. Like,
what you gotta do to win is leave a comment on this video and be subscribed. Let's get back to the show.
After about 200 years, a bloodline will just die out because they're infertile from so much inbreeding. And so they would just take a cadet family, one of the other branches, and they'd plug them in. And so it was the same bloodline. But if you look at the Habsburgs, they all have strawberry blonde hair. It's reddish blonde. And there's a Pope, Orsini, who had reddish blonde hair. And I think he was involved in the the Habsburg line. Another one is Bill Clinton's mother, who was the illegitimate child of Winthrop Rockefeller, who was governor of Arkansas. That's why Clinton was president, and now Hillary Clinton. She's actually, her middle name was Rodham. What I looked it up, and it was shortened from Brodowski. And she's from a Jewish family in Brodowski, Poland. They keep rebreeding the ancient stock. The Chi in Italian, like Medici. Yeah, Chi means the
Did y'all know Hillary Clinton family from Poland? You Poland Dutch motherfuckers.
The stock, the bloodline you're from, or the tribe. It means DNA is what it means. Right. And it's always through the female. It's not through the male.
Cap.
It's through the female.
That's cap. Black nobility family really black. They not white people. Fuck that. Nope. I know that's the true definition. Technically, nah. I know it's some black blackamoors, nigga, still in Europe running shit. I know it is. It's no way them niggas gave. I feel like they told us they came out of power. That's what they told us. Like, oh yeah, we lost. That's what they told us. Remember, Rod Hayes and Young Elder dropped the Black Devils. I gotta rewatch that now.
This video fucked. You know we can't talk about the Orsini's.
Fuck that, bro. People need to know.
Remember,
but they got
this
global,
is for entertainment purposes only.
They ain't gonna save us, bro.
The Orsini family has held influence and power for centuries. However, most don't even know the name. Let's get into it. When people talk about powerful families, you'll hear names like Rockefeller or Rothschild, but one name a lot of people don't speak of is the Orsini. Now, the family emerges in Rome around the 11th century, right as the Catholic Church is becoming the most powerful institution in Europe. And by the 1200s, the Orsini weren't just nobles, they were church royalty, or what history today calls black nobility.
Y'all know what time it is.
Take Giovanni Gaetano Orsini, who became Pope Nicholas III in 1277. His papacy is openly documented as one of the most nepotistic in Vatican history. He appointed relatives to key positions, consolidated land, and actually strengthened his family's control over Rome and the Papal States. Across centuries, the Orsini have produced 5 popes and at least 34 cardinals, which matters because cardinals are the ones who elect the popes. So that means they weren't just in power, they actually helped decide who got power. The Orsini controlled fortresses and territory all across Rome, Lazio, Umbria, and southern Italy even, and would intermarry with other elite houses like the Medici and European royalty. Power married power for centuries. In modern times, the Orsini are often named among what people call the 13 bloodlines, 13 different lineages that have held power for thousands and thousands of years. Empires fell, revolutions happened, governments reset. They didn't. The Orsini actually had literature written about them back in the 1200s, where they were accused of devil worship. The Orsini lineage is still alive and well today. Dukes, dons, and princes, and even one some call the Grey Pope.
We definitely shouldn't be talking about the Grey Pope.
Fuck that, bro. They all trace back to the Orsinis.
The Grey Pope is Pepe Orsini. He trumps the black, he trumps the white Pope.
The Grey Pope is even higher than the black and the white Pope.
The Orsini is the Maxima family. They are the maximum family. They are on top. And somehow they trump the Colonna and the Farnese, which I know without any doubt through all my studies that they are the 3 most powerful Illuminati.
What about Rothschild and Rockefeller?
Well, they are Orsini. They just changed their name. Rockefeller were Rothschilds. Rothschilds were Orsini. Orsini were a family which have their blood lines in Babylon and Egypt. They tell you that. You read their biographies, they'll tell you that. We go back to Nimrod, they tell you that. The Rothschilds say that. We go back to Nimrod. How? Through the Orsini. So Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian dynasties.
It's mad they would inbreed for so
my
many
light turned
generations.
off right when he said that.
Jacob Rothschild.
Hold on, let me get my second light.
Right?
And Baron James, who was head of the Paris branch and the youngest of the 5 sons of our Uncle Rothschild, gave an astonishingly uninhibited description of the 19th century Rothschild policy of keeping it in the family. I'll quote to you from what he wrote and make you smile. In our family, we've always tried to keep love in the family.
Oh, Jacob!
In this sense, it was more or less understood since childhood that children would never think of marrying outside the family, so that our fortune would never leave it. You couldn't write that today.
That's fucking crazy.
I told you, bro.
Most of the people of these bloodlines do not have surnames that match the bloodline that they belong to. Their only major connection, so to speak, is when they are...
How? Through the Orsini, so Rockefeller, Rothschild, Orsini, and then you go back to the Persian and Egyptian dynasties.
It's mad they would inbreed for so many generations.
Jacob Rothschild said it himself, bro.
Oh, he admitted to inbreeding?
And Baron James, who was head of the Paris branch and the youngest of the 5 sons of our Emperor Rothschild, gave an astonishingly uninhibited description of the 19th century Rothschild policy of keeping it in the family. I'll quote to you from what he wrote and make you smile. In our family, we've always tried to keep love in the family. In this sense, it was more or less understood since childhood that children would never think of marrying outside the family, so that our fortune would never leave it. You couldn't write that today.
That's fucking crazy.
You couldn't write that today.
Most of the people of these bloodlines do not have surnames that match the bloodline that they belong to. Their only major connection, so to speak, is when they are put before the Grand Dame, and she is to give her approval as to whether they're accepted into the Illuminati or not when they're like age 3, and they're given a physical inspection, just like the Masons don't want anybody who's got physical defects. And they're given an overall inspection, and in that initiation ceremony, they will announce what bloodline they belong to. But then they will continue going through life with a plethora of other names. So when you see these families like the Astor family go from being totally poor, and in a few years, John Jacob Astor is the richest man in North America. He couldn't hardly speak any English. His English was broken. And he was the type of person that if you were sitting beside him eating, he might grab your shirt and wipe his dirty face on it while he was eating the meal.
Savage.
He was gross, he was crude. He was not somebody that you would enjoy being around. Yet this man who could barely speak English and who is an exceptionally obnoxious person, within a few years became the most richest man in America. Now, how did that happen? It's because somebody in the Illuminati councils had decided the Astor bloodline, which is a bloodline that goes back to antiquity. The name is a derivative of Astarte. They had decided that the Astor family, would be given that privilege.
It's wild to think there's people.
So they know some shit that we don't know. They said, we don't give a fuck how this dude acts in the physical. This Astor family bloodline has to be put in position here. But it's like, if this dude was illiterate, couldn't read, why would they give him all this wealth?
People pulling the strings like that.
What y'all think, man?
Yeah, bro. They even choose who's going to be president.
It is a known fact that all the presidents that have, reigned in the United States have all been related. It's fascinating that the Bible doesn't speak about the presidents of the world, it speaks about the kings of the world.
Kings.
And it really, over the course of history, hasn't mattered which of the candidates has won, because the candidates have always both been in the same bloodline. Now, that's a fascinating story, because Charlemagne is, of course, the one who was crowned emperor of the Roman Empire, the new Roman Empire, and the Pope was crowning him whilst his kingdom was falling apart. So he's a symbol of this unity of the world under one leadership, the papacy. So you have these high-profile Catholics as vice presidents. The Jesuits themselves said if you have to choose sides, then a Jesuit can choose one side and represent it to the point of death, while a fellow Jesuit may choose the opposite side and defend that to the point of death. That is the Hegelian dialectic. So it really wouldn't have mattered which one of these two would have become the vice president. And it really wouldn't have mattered which one of these two would have become president.
Just goes to show how pointless politics is.
Yeah, bro. It's all smoke and mirrors.
The deep state begins with the Rothschilds and the Vatican. They have had financial power since time immemorial. The Rothschilds were instrumental in setting up central banks. These central banks are the means by which private interests control public interests. They manipulate interest rates. The other billionaires make their money by manipulating interest rates, by manipulating foreign exchange rates, by starting wars to drive up the price of oil so that Goldman Sachs can make its futures bet, okay? So the deep state is about bankers, including religions, the Vatican particularly, but also the Jewish religion as manipulated by the Zionists in Israel. Saudi Arabia and Wahhabism is part of the deep state. And then you have the complicit media, complicit academics, and then you have the secret intelligence services that are using their powers to spy on politicians and blackmail the politicians on behalf of the deep state.
Makes you wonder how much war there'd be if these lunatics weren't in charge.
They're behind all of them, bro.
Look what's happened in the last 20-23 years.
World stage.
A disgrace. I personally investigated the Oklahoma City bombing case. Huge cover-up. Jack Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. Bobby Kennedy's assassination, huge cover-up. World Trade Center, huge cover-up. Okay. Terrorism. They're using it as an excuse to take away our constitutional rights and our civil liberties. The Bilderbergs.
Listen, bro. This Hegel and dialect shit. They create the bad guy. They create the good guys. They create the problem. And they create the solution. They create the platform, the scenario. They create the where they're fighting at, the battlegrounds. Everything is manufactured on this world stage.
The Illuminati, Bilderberg, New World Order, globalists are the element behind this. It dovetails into the satanic movement, and this movement has infiltrated into our intelligence community, the once great FBI and the CIA.
We're skating on thin ice here.
Fuck that, bro. It's gonna get a lot worse.
But the name Illuminati originally came from being illuminated, i.e. aware, awakened of the truths of it. And as happens in all the time, power corrupts. And it's all to do with the bloodline. So we're talking about the Rockefellers, the Rothschilds, the JP Morgans, the royal families of Egypt, royal families of Europe. They're all tied into this bloodline.
I'm gonna be reacting, like I said, way more professional type videos. Shout out to Terror Ted.
And once you've created 2 or 3 religions, well, you can set them against one another. And that's why they created countries, because now you can set countries against each other. And the thing is, the Illuminati create all the wars on the planet, and they've created them all since 1300, okay? Because the Illuminati are the very first weapons merchants. They became so rich because of discoveries they made in the Crusades that they became richer than the state, richer than the church, and they were the power brokers in Europe, and they were the weapons manufacturers. What they do is they set the governments up against one another, and they manufacture wars, and that's why they think people are stupid.
It's hard to believe all wars are manufactured.
Trust me, bro. They even funded Hitler.
It's a basic New World Order, an Illuminati, if you will, which is primarily run by the Rothschild family. The Rothschilds finance...
This nigga joined the chat and said, what is this? Can you not read? You said, what's up, bro? Hope you had a grand rise. No, I didn't see you say that. What up, bro? But yeah, bro, you could read the title, bro. But yeah, right now we talking about the 13 Illuminati bloodline. I didn't see you say grand rising though. Grand rising, brother. Nigga, read the title, nigga.
Against Stalin and the takeover of Russia, the Bolshevik Revolution, 1917. They have financed the French Revolution. They financed World War II. They financed Hitler, and they were financing the U.S. So they believe in order out of chaos. You fund both sides of a war, and whichever side wins, you got their vote, because you're their paymaster. You've given them their money. You control their financial supply, which means you can control the government. Okay? and you profit no matter what. Right. And also what happens is that the war stimulates the economy, so you get much more infrastructure and much more buildings coming out of it. That's why, for example, Ford Motor Company was building tank plants in Germany, which is why Hitler's Wehrmacht had the tanks. It was from Ford. When American bombers bombed Ford's tank plants in Germany, Ford personally repaid Hitler so he could rebuild the tank plants faster. Boeing actually was shipping, this has been documented, was shipping passenger airliners to South America, which were then sent to Africa, where they ripped the seats out and turned them into Hitler's bomber fleet. That was Boeing. These are American corporations. The whole idea of these big wars is a joke.
That's fucked up.
Yeah, bro. Loads of American corporations funded Hitler.
I discovered amongst the Nuremberg records a series of bank transfer slips to the Delbrück Schickler Bank in Berlin to an account which was under the control of Rudolf Hess. And this was the fund that was used to finance Hitler's access to power in March 1973. And amongst the corporations that transferred money to Hitler, I find not only R.G. Farben, which is quite widely known, but also German General Electric, AEG, which is under the control of General Electric in the United States, or was at that time, and companies like Osram.
So then we have Ford and we have General Electric helping to finance Adolf Hitler's rise to power. Were any other large American corporations involved?
Very definitely. Standard Oil, through its technical association with IG Farben, and ITT, for example, International Telephone and Telegraph, was very intimately associated with the Nazis through Dr. Schroeder, who was head of the ITT subsidiaries in Germany. And ITT controlled companies which made not only electrical instruments, but also the Focke-Wulf plant, which made airplanes, fighter airplanes. American corporations, only a few, not many, financed Hitler through their subsidiaries.
I just learned
that. They transferred technology. They transferred material assistance, for example, stocks of tetraethyl before the Germans could manufacture it under the joint manufacturing agreement with the United States.
Basically what we're seeing then is American industry helping to provide the technology, helping to provide the finance, helping to provide the material that is going to allow Hitler to create his war machine.
Yes, that is correct. That is correct.
That's unbelievable.
It's true, bro. The Illuminati became corporations.
We see the nation states, we see the transnational corporations, we see the international bankers, we see the internationalist organizations like the United Nations, the World Bank, the International Monetary Fund, the Trilateral Commission, the Council of Foreign Relations. These are all storefronts for the power structure. They're like Hollywood movie sets that all look like they have the power, but if you actually walk in, you'll see that they're really just kind of leaning up on 2x4s, that the power really isn't there either. Wherever the media directs your attention, that's where it ain't happening. And so once you understand that that's how the media distracts us and keeps us from seeing what's true, you have to look in the opposite direction almost to find what's really going on.
Right.
So instead of focusing all our attention on the visible part of the power structure, where the attention needs to be is on the puppeteers themselves, who are the sovereign powers that are behind the scenes of all the nation states, behind the scenes of all the transnational corporations, behind the scenes of the international bankers. And there is a lineage of sovereign structures that go back thousands of years. And it's very surprising to find out that most of the people that are truly the sovereigns and the families that are actually behind it, you've never heard them before.
Once I seen that picture, once you see, like, they got a picture like this too, I seen on Pinterest. But
and there is a lineage,
like, it's this whole Order of the Rosicrucians, Fabian Society. Like, there is so many orders that we don't know about. We don't even know where they're implemented at, how they're implemented, how they're being utilized, what their purpose is. Just learning the whole secret society thing will take you a few years. And I've been studying this, not in-depthly though, but see if they give a picture. Like even pics like this, right? Or a pic like this. Look how many layers that is. So at the bottom, debt, slaves, birth, school, labor, taxes, debts, retirement cycle. Most people can't even get out of that loop. Population, resource, labor units, religions, governments, education, and media, world population control, world resource control. But you gotta think about it. Most people stop at here, the corporations, right? Look at the top. Crown of Council of 13 world most richest families. You can't even get past level 2. World Financial Control, IMF, WB, Central Banks, Tax Revenue, Interest Revenue, Bank of International. And these all coincide with each other. Powerful subfamilies. You got subfamilies. Committee of 300 world's richest most... Bro, there's too many levels to this shit, bro. And I'll probably be walking by them every day. I know I be driving by these folks' house every day. I'm in Arizona. It be elites out here. You feel me? I'm just like, damn, these motherfuckers is... It's crazy, bro. Because they got to be blending in society. Or I think a lot of them don't live in America, too.
Of sovereign structures that go back thousands of years. And it's very surprising to find out that most of the people that are truly the sovereigns and the families that are actually behind it, you've never heard them before. You've never even heard their name. They're invisible.
You've heard one of their names before, bro.
Don't say it.
Yeah, bro. It's Epstein.
It was a world that existed that would be a combination of both politics and business and leadership. What do I mean? He formed something called the Trilateral Commission. The Trilateral Commission is some spooky stuff. People said it was some of the people that, the Illuminati, there's some mystery about it, people that ran the world. It was politicians, but David said most countries, the politicians get elected for 4 years or 8 years, separate from the royal families in England or in the Middle East. Someone's there for 4 years and then they're not there anymore. The most important people to have stability and consistency would be businessmen. So he formed this Trilateral Commission of businessmen and politicians from 3 major continents. So it was the North Americans, the Europeans, and the Asians. So he said to me, would you like to be on the Trilateral Commission? Now, I was 30 years old, 32 years old. I said, great. And he said, well, you have to fill out this application so they have your bio. And I looked at the list of people, and it was Bill Clinton, former president of the United States, Paul Volcker, every great leader in America, the Asians, the Japanese, and with a very long description of their history. And they asked me to fill in what I would like to have written. And I wrote Jeffrey Epstein, comma, just a good kid, which I thought was funny, nobody else did.
Just goes to show everyone knew he was a sick fuck.
The Trilateral Commission were in on it, bro. But we'll have to save that for next time.
I ain't gonna lie, let's get to the next video. So, the next video we're gonna be talking about gooning. The problem with gooning. If you're about to goon, please watch this.
Millions of visitors a day. Meanwhile, a major study from the UK found that 20% of teenagers admitted habitual use and 10% thought they might be addicted. And those are just the people admitting it. You see, in just a couple of decades.
That's the thing. Most people are not going to admit they got a problem or admit they like going through this process because it's become so normalized, masturbation. I told y'all when I was in 8th grade, I looked up like, yo, is masturbation bad for you? Google told me like, no, it's normal. It's normal to masturbate and do all these things. Because I remember one time I had smacked my meat And nigga, my nuts was hurting hella bad. I'm like, what the fuck? Like my stomach was hurt. I'm like, what the fuck I just do? Cause I just disrupted all my fucking chakras. I just disrupted all my. You gotta understand, your seed, when you hold it in your nutsack, it go up your vertebrae. All these fluids go up your vertebrae, go through your, it help your blood work. When it travel up your vertebrae, them same fluids go to your brain. Now you thinking clear. Now you more stronger. Now you more witty. Now you got better hand-eye coordination, etc., etc. That's why they say you busting nuts all the time. It fuck your eyesight up, cause you missing vital life fluids, and these eyes is portal to the soul.
Adult content has transformed from a niche product into
the thing is, I ain't gonna keep pausing, but the thing is they introduced this shit to us when we young.
A massive billion-dollar market that is saturating all of TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. Everything online is funneling into it. And essential to this new order are the tube sites, whose shadowy owners rake in hundreds of millions, often while remaining completely anonymous. We've spoken about it before with just one guy. But the scale of this epidemic is way too large to even comprehend. But we can understand what's happening on a personal level, and how these companies push people into this terrible addiction, and how all of our basic human instincts are being rewired to make a profit.
Facts.
Because to truly understand the scope of the damage the porn industry is doing, we need to understand